Welcome back, you guys. I'm thrilled you've come back for more. For those of you who don't know or perhaps have forgotten, I'm Tosha Schore, your partner in parenting. I'm a parent coach. I work with parents, particularly of young boys, to help the parents help their boys move beyond behaviors that just aren't serving them well in their lives. And I also work with you parents to help you build your parenting confidence. I'm also an author. I co-authored a book called Listen, 5 Simple Tools to Meet Your Everyday Parenting Challenges. I wrote that book with my mentor, Patty Whitfler. And I've also founded an online program called Parenting Boys Peacefully, a 10-day reconnect. And if you're not part of that, I encourage you to become a part of that. It is a very simple 10-day practice to help you build a strong connection with your boy, or rebuild it, or reconnect. So that's a little bit about me. I am going to talk to you today about the most common parent trap that we fall into. But first, let me recap about why we're here. So you have a lot of choices about what you could be doing with your time right now. I know that. So you're here because you're struggling with a boy who is acting aggressively, and you're trying to figure out how to help him through those behaviors. And what happens, like I mentioned in the last video as well, is that all we know is harshness. Not because we're bad or because we want to be harsh, but because that's what's been modeled for us. It's what we see in our society around us. And for some of us, it's how we were treated as young ones. So the default, when we're in the heat of the moment and perhaps triggered by our boys' aggressive behaviors, is to go towards that harshness. And the problems we mentioned with that are twofold. One, we feel crappy about how we behaved with our boy. And two, it doesn't help them actually move beyond the behavior. So even if we can like eke our way through one specific incident, the behavior comes back again and again. So what we're going to talk about in this video is one thing that you can stop doing and something that you can start doing instead. So there's this parent trap, I like to call it, that we fall into, of talking. We talk ourselves blue in the face, right? We talk, talk, talk. We negotiate, we barter, we try to convince our child of something. We talk, 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 talk. And even though it doesn't work in the long run, we keep talking. So I'm not saying that there's never a time for a conversation with our young boys about their behaviors, but mostly that talking is for us and not for them. Let me just give you an example to illustrate what I mean here. And this is just something that happened to me this week with my youngest, okay? So he really wanted to watch a movie. It was the middle of the week. We had to leave in less than an hour to go somewhere. There were just a lot of things that were going on that didn't make sense to start a movie in that moment, okay? And so I said, no, sweetie, we're not gonna watch a movie today. And he got upset. No, it's not fair. And I tried to talk, and I said, well, sweetie, there's really not enough time. We need to leave in like 45 minutes or an hour, and we're gonna have to stop the movie in the middle, and then it's gonna be hard to stop the movie, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just talking, talking, talking. And he's not changing his stance at all. In fact, he's just one-upping me and coming up with all sorts of reasons why, in fact, he could watch a movie just fine in the time that we had. And fortunately for me, I have many gazillion hours of experience of working with my boys in these challenging situations, and I could stop for a moment and say to myself, okay, I'm gonna stop talking now and start listening. That's what I want you to do. So stop talking and start listening. And rather than try to convince him that there was a really, really good reason why it did not make sense to watch a movie right now, I just listened to him. He told me a million reasons why he thought that it was the perfect time to watch a 2-hour-long movie. And rather than get into it with him, I just listened. Every once in a while I would say, I hear you. I hear you. No movie today, sweetie. I don't even think I said I hear you. I think I just said, no movie today, babe. No movie. And he just kept going and going, and then he really started crying, and he says, it's not fair, I really want to watch a movie, you're stupid, or whatever he called me, and blah, blah, blah. And again, you know, I didn't get agitated by these big feelings because I recognized their need to come out. And that I recognized that my listening to him was actually helping design for him or provide for him a safe space for him to feel whatever feelings were up for him. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, what was important to me right then is that we weren't going to watch a movie. There just wasn't time for it. It didn't make sense. So he could feel however he wanted to feel about it. And I just listened. And in about, I don't know, less than 5 minutes, maybe 3, he had finished, you know, having his upset about the movie. There was nobody to argue with because I wasn't there to argue with. And he would win anyway, right? We never win. And he just went on to the next thing. So he decided he was going to listen to part of his audiobook before we left, and that was just fine. So the situation could have gone very differently, right? If I had just continued to try to talk him out of wanting to watch the movie or convince him that it wasn't a good idea, the only thing that would have happened is that my fuse would have gotten shorter and shorter and shorter, and it would have become more and more difficult for me to maintain patience with him. So what I want to suggest that you try is, rather than talking the next time your boy has an upset about something, you know, he obviously, if he's hurting somebody, you've got to stop the behavior, but rather than talking to him about, you know it's not okay to hit somebody, or or getting angry, or trying to talk him out of the upset that he's feeling, listen, just like the name of our book, right? Listen. And it really does miracles. Just the fact that you are 100% for him in that moment, and you're not trying to make him be different than he is or feel different than he is, you're simply there to support him, allows him to get rid of all that gunk that's in his emotional system and clogging up his ability to think well. And you will find, if you can listen all the way through, that his thinking becomes quite clear, his ability to become more flexible returns, and he can do something else. Like my boy decided he was going to listen to a chapter in his audiobook, which was absolutely reasonable to do at that time. All right, so I hope you've taken something very practical here again from this video. I am very down and dirty. I do not want to be spewing theory at you. I am about getting things done. You're here and you want to get here, and I am here to help you along that path. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and share it with other parents. There are many, many parents of young boys out there who could greatly benefit from these tips. If you have a comment, please go ahead and comment. If you have a question, go ahead and type that in as well. I want to appreciate you once again for taking the time out of your busy day to be here with me, and keep an eye on your inboxes. You've got one more free video coming your way. Should be in your inbox sometime soon. Bye, you guys.